Hey guys, how you doing? Trucker G here.
Hey, Mrs. G.
I want to start this video out with a little shameless plug. We got the Trucker G spot seasoning. The lover meat's been wanting. Hits the spot every time. Tell you what, this is probably the best stuff you'll ever have. Don't hold me to it. No, I'm just kidding. I love this stuff. The reason why I started off with the shameless plug is because we started a new sale. We're going to have 15% off from now till what, midnight Sunday?
Midnight Sunday.
Midnight Sunday. Promo code SAVE15 for 15% off.
SAVE15.
Easy enough. Guys, did an interview today with NPR Marketplace, and it was a pretty good interview. We talked a lot about yellow and the trucking industry, the way it's looking right now. You know, and yeah, the whole yellow fiasco. I know we've had a lot of people ask us and make comments on our videos talking about, hey, what about yellow? And people have been expecting me to talk about it. Well, let's just kind of talk about it. Personally, I think it's criminal. It is criminal. You know, the government bails them out for over 700 million. We'll just say 700 million. Bailed them out. And no, it's not somebody said a PPP loan. No, it wasn't a PPP loan. The taxpayer owns 30% of that company because they bailed them out. A lot of other companies didn't get a bailout. They went under. They got bailed out. That's fine and dandy. I mean, I didn't have no problem with them bailing them out. Government shouldn't be in business of keeping businesses open. That's not what the government's for. But I'll let it go. You know, they saved 30,000 jobs for the time being. What's criminal is the CEO, CFO, COO, you name it. Any of these three-letter titles, it's criminal. Let's kind of talk about this a little bit. They got bailed out in what, 2020? Let's look at the 2020 financials here. Thomas J. O'Connor, Chief Operating Officer. Thomas J. made, what is it? He made a base pay of $633,000 in 2020. He got a bonus of $317,500. Total cash compensation is $950,000, a little over $950,000. Total compensation, $1,390,000. That was for 2020. That's just him. That's just Thomas J. This other guy, Scott D. Ware, Chief Network Officer. Total compensation of $1,300,000. Darren D. Hawkins, he's the one I'm really looking at here. Well, one of the ones I'm really looking at here. Chief Executive Officer. 2020. Made $833,000 base pay and $150,000 bonus. Bonus. How are you going to get a bonus if your company's got to rely on the taxpayer to keep your business going? What kind of leader takes money out of the pocket of its company that's fixing to go under if it wasn't for the taxpayer? You know, these people were entrusted. They were entrusted with the taxpayers' money. The government bailout, that's our money, us taxpayers' money. They were entrusted by all the employees that they have, 30,000 employees and their families. There's families out there that might not be eating tonight. Why? Because these guys made so much dang money. That is criminal. And that's just 2020, mind you. Jamie G. Pearson.
That was after they got bailed out?
Yeah, it was after. No, this is the year they got bailed out. Okay. Jamie G. Pearson. Let's kind of go over his financials here. Total compensation, $3.2 million. A base pay of $623 or $623,000. You know, at least this person didn't take a bonus. This is the one person that I didn't see got a bonus for 2020, but got quite a bit for stock. $784,000 that's tanking now. Total compensation though, $3.2 million. The other $1.8 million, it just says other compensation. It don't say where it came from. So I'd really like to know where that other compensation came from. That, like I said, that was 2020. Let's go to 2021. This is just last year. The same people. This is Daniel Oliver, so they must have got rid of that. No, the O'Connor's still there. Daniel Oliver made a total of, which is the chief financial officer, made a total of $3.5 million in compensation. Base pay was $419,000. Bonuses and non-equity incentive compensation, $1.1 million. But yet your company's going under. Just last year, you had to have a bailout. Looking into the future, a year later, your company's gone. Your employees are no longer have jobs. Don't know whether or not they're going to get their pensions. But yet, yeah, let me take $1.1 million for a bonus. Total cash compensation, $1.5 million, a little over. Plus they got stock, $1.9 million in stock value. I wonder how many of these guys sold off their stock before the company went over, and how much stock they did sell off.
You mean went under?
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Thanks for clarifying that. Total compensation, $3.5 million, a little over. Let's go back to that Thomas J. O'Connor the third. $1.5 million total compensation. His base pay went way down, $196,000. Total cash compensation, $196,000. But he got $1.2 million, a little over $1.2 million in other compensation. Total other compensation. It just says other. It doesn't say exactly where it went, and where it came from, should I say. $1.2 million. Let's go back to this Darren Hawkins, Chief Executive Officer. Mind you, this is 2021, guys. Chief Executive Officer. His base pay went up $1.1 million as a base pay. Mind you, you just had to get a bailout from the government the year previous. This year, which is a year ahead of 2021, we're nowhere in 23 now, huh?
Yes.
Well, I'm a little off on my dates, guys. It doesn't matter. When you have to have a government bailout, you shouldn't be pulling these kind of numbers. You should care about the people that are under you. You should care about the business enough and the American public that gave you that money. Nobody asked me whether or not I wanted to give them the money. No, but our government did. But anyways, he made $1.1 million in 2021. $893,000 as a bonus. $125,000 as total other. A whole total compensation of $2.1 million. Guys, this is criminal. It is absolutely criminal. I don't know how else to say it. They mismanaged, or they stole. One of the two. I don't know which. I'm not gonna slander because I don't have proof. But it needs to be looked into, and it needs to be looked into hard. There's so many of their employees, 30,000 employees, and their families relying on that job, relying on that pension. And they don't know whether there's going to be a pension there or not. I'd say quite a few of them are going to wonder whether or not they're going to be able to put a box of macaroni and cheese on the table for the family in the coming months. Hopefully, if they've saved, hopefully they can get another job. Another thing we talked about on the NPR deal, we talked about the trucking industry. Trucking's hard right now. We talked about the rates. I know a lot of drivers, and a lot of drivers are going to disagree with me. But one of the statements I made, and I'm going to stand to it. A lot of drivers are going to say that it's because of the brokers. No, right now it's not because of the brokers. Are there brokers out there trying to slit our throats? Yeah, there's always brokers out there trying to slit our throats. But these big corporations that are making record profits are holding the money back. They've figured it out that some of us are dumb enough to haul these loads for next to nothing. Like I told the guy on NPR, I told him, there's drivers out here that are hauling these loads and having to pay money out of their pocket in order to haul these loads. They have to. With the rates the way they are, they have to be taking money out of their pockets. It might not come out of your pocket right this second, but I guarantee you're going to have an engine go down, because it's not whether or not your truck is going to break down, it's when it's going to break down. Are you compensating, and You add in the cost of replacing that engine, replacing the tires, general maintenance. Are you paying yourself when you're taking these loads? Are you thinking about all that? There's a lot to it. You know, a lot of us are just barely holding our heads above water. They asked me, how are you making it, man? I said, you know, luckily I've diversified a little bit. I said, I'm barely holding my head above water myself, but we have the seasoning and the hot sauce that's helping out and kind of helping pay the bills a little bit. I don't know for how much longer, because in order to keep the business going, the new business, because he asked, when did you start the business? And I told him, you know, the beginning of this year. In order to keep the business going, I got to put money back into the business. But if I keep pulling money out, there ain't going to be a business. It's that simple. It's kind of scary the times we live in, don't you think, honey?
It's very scary.
I got on a rant. I didn't let Miss G talk or nothing.
You're fine.
She's like,
Oh.
but that's pretty much the gist of it. I like to tell you guys all what's going on. It's supposed to be on NPR Marketplace this evening at sometime. I'll probably be, like I told him, I'll probably be sleeping by the time it airs, and maybe I can catch it tomorrow.
I thought he was going to send you a link.
Yeah, he's supposed to send me a link, but if he's anything like me, he'll forget. Guys, that's pretty much my rant. Sorry but not sorry. Love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.